welcome to Let's Talk Hypnotherapy. It's Iris Fischer and Danielle Antonson today. And today we're gonna invite you to experience an example of a session, a parts therapy session. And I'm gonna be the client and Danielle is gonna be the fantastic therapist. Just adding in, the induction is cut out and the long pauses as well, just to make it more viewer friendly. So please enjoy.
So, we are going to begin this session by speaking to the part of you that feels like it cannot talk and it can't really say what it wants to say. And we're going to find out what this part needs from you or wants from you and why it causes you to not find the words in conversation, why you go blank when talking. And as you think about this part that believes you are too stupid to talk, and those are your words, not mine, where you feel that in your body?
It's in my lungs. There's a coldness in my lungs and a pressure on my chest. And also pressure on my neck.
And as you focus on that, those feelings in your neck and your chest, does this have any shape or color to it?
It's very dark. And it's like also a void, and the void is having like an ice bluish color.
And as you're focusing on this, how do you feel towards it?
I'm scared. It's really scary.
I want you to tell me why you're scared.
It feels like it's gonna take over. It's expanding, and it's making me feel like I vanish.
Are you able to put this fear aside and become a little curious about this part?
Maybe I feel I probably might. I probably might need to say I am afraid because it's taking over, and I might lose myself. So I think it's gonna be okay to meet it.
So I want you to, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I might probably need some distance to it, but it's okay.
Go ahead and take a little space and create a little distance, because we'll invite this part into a safe space.
Okay.
So I want you to imagine for a moment that you are going to be entering a room where you are going to have a very important meeting with an old friend that you would love to understand and reconnect with. So I want you to create this room in your mind. It is a room that feels safe and welcoming. It is designed with the intention of understanding in a way that encourages compassion, solutions, trust, forgiveness, and unconditional love. This room is a safe space where everyone is able to say how they feel without feeling fear, shame, guilt, or judgment. No one will be asked to leave, and no one will be forced to stay either. The purpose of this space is to understand what each other think, feel, need, or want, so that we can come to a solution that benefits everyone. So I want you to see yourself entering this room. And as you walk in, it is the perfect size. It is painted in the most wonderful colors that really make you feel good about this meeting. It is decorated perfectly to your liking. It is the perfect temperature, and the lighting is exactly as you like it. This is your room for working things out with your inner parts. So maybe there's a meeting table with chairs all around it, or maybe it's more of an intimate setting with a few chairs facing each other. However you see this room is up to you. So I want you to tell me what you're envisioning in this space.
So my side of the room is very fancy. It has some turquoise or more petrol colored walls and very stylish lamps. And it really makes me feel comfortable, but the rest of the room is like a huge hall.
The rest of the room is a huge what?
Like a hallway, like it's having very high ceilings because the part is very big. It's like a huge giant, and I feel like an ant. So it's having this unsymmetric appearance.
And as you see this giant part in its space, I want you to kind of invite it and let it know that you guys are here to work things out. And as you notice how big it is, you feel its presence. It's a giant. What do you feel about this part?
It feels like it's very confident in itself, and I am very tiny, so it doesn't even care about me. I'm almost like an irrelevant ant for it.
So right now we are going to give this part of you a voice. And this part of you is finally able to be heard. I am speaking to the part of Iris that causes her to go blank in conversation. And we would love to speak with you to get a better understanding of what you need from her. There is another part of Iris that wants to speak confidently to others and say what she feels and thinks without feeling stupid. And we are all hoping to come to a middle ground. I am willing to listen to everything that you have to say, and Iris is willing to listen to what you have to say. When you are ready to talk, please say, I am here.
I am here.
Hello, and what can we call you?
I am the giant within.
Well, hello, giant within. Can you tell me what you do for Iris?
I'm actually not here to do something for her. I'm here for myself.
And what do you do for yourself here?
I'm just living my life and existing.
Do you like your life here?
Yes.
What kind of things do you do?
I am taking things over. I'm in charge. I am maneuvering things. I do as I please.
How long have you been here?
I guess since she was quite small.
I want you to tell me the first time you came into Iris's life. What was happening in her life then?
Oh, it was an unpleasant moment where a boundary was crossed when she was a tiny girl.
And who crossed this boundary?
One of her caretakers, her father.
And when her father crossed this boundary, what was she feeling?
She felt like an ant being crushed.
What else did she feel?
Completely irrelevant in her own life. And completely without any voice.
Did she ever try to tell anyone what had happened?
She was too small. She was just not even a year old.
Okay. So she was really, really small.
Yeah.
So when you came into her world, what were your intentions?
I was probably the reminder of this moment. How easily someone can crush your voice and can crush yourself, your own very state of being. It's like I was always there and her voice couldn't reach through to anyone else.
Why couldn't her voice reach through to anyone else?
You know, it's like when there's an ant and this ant is talking, it's too small. And makes me also feel like there was a sort of wall between her and the rest, which was just nullifying the volume of her voice, so nothing did reach through.
So you're aware of this wall that nullifies Iris's voice. Is that true?
Yes, it looks like a glass dome.
Are you able to see Iris's voice through that glass?
Mm. Yes, sort of, but it's really like when you have this kind of thick glass that doesn't allow any voice to penetrate it. And it's like you can see her mouth moving, but you can't hear a thing.
Why can't why can't you hear anything?
Because this wall is impenetrable, or this glass dome is just, it's impossible to reach through.
Who built this wall?
That's a good question. It looks like it was concerted effort. It was very clear that her voice wasn't welcome. So in parts it was created from the outside.
Why wasn't her voice welcome?
Because it was unpleasant. It was disturbing. It was causing trouble. Whenever she was voicing something, it was because she had some needs and she shouldn't have any needs, because that's just more effort and it's taking away energy from others.
Who told her that her voice is unpleasant and disturbing and that her needs um, are shouldn't be heard?
It's mainly her mother, but also her grandmother.
And still speaking with you, Giant Within, how do you feel looking at Iris's voice encapsulated in this dome?
It doesn't touch me. I'm too far away from it or too disconnected from it. It feels like I don't have anything to do with it. When I see her with it in this dome, it just feels weird, sort of ridiculous and confusing. Why is she like that?
If you had come in during this time when she couldn't speak up for herself, what were you supposed to do? What was your intention coming into her life?
I was the reminder of what could happen.
And how do you remind her of what could happen?
Oh, when I scare her, when I'm present and I'm scaring her. And this means she always remembers.
What kind of things do you do to scare her?
It's just my presence, and I don't care about her boundaries, and therefore I'm intentionally cross them. And with that, she notices that she is irrelevant
Why is it okay for you to cross her boundaries?
because she is irrelevant. She's not important. What she has to say is of no
And not
impact.
important. What was that?
What she says is just nothing. It's not of any matter.
If she's so irrelevant, why do you stay?
I actually feel like I don't stay. It's like I exist and I'm living my own existence.
Are you aware of another part of Iris that would like to speak up and feel comfortable in conversation?
I see another part. I see her dancing and singing, and she's very extroverted.
And how do you feel about that part?
It's just like another figure that I see. There's no connection. It's entertaining to see it, nothing more.
Would you be willing to speak with this part with us, or to invite this other part in so that we can understand a little bit more about her?
That's okay.
Okay. So now I am speaking to the part of Iris that wants to speak with others, that wants to speak with confidence and in flow in conversation. And we would love to speak with you to get a better understanding of what you need from Iris and the giant within. And we are all hoping to come to a solution so that we can be happier. I am willing to listen to everything that you have to say, and Iris is willing to listen to everything you have to say. And the giant within is also willing to listen to what you have to say. So when you are ready to talk, please say, I am here.
I am here.
Hello, and what can we call you?
The dancer.
Hello, the dancer. Can you tell me what you do for Iris?
I'm just existing in her mind, in her daydreams, in her visualizations.
How long have you been here?
Oh, I'm here since a long time. I think when she was little and when she actually wanted to dance, but was never welcomed. I feel I was there since she was about maybe 2, 3 years old.
Why wasn't she welcome to dance?
I I really feel there's no real reason besides her environment didn't want her to be seen or be heard or be noticed. They just wanted her to be like a puppet, like a numb small child that's just not making any noise or any movement. And I had to come in because she was actually very happy when she was dancing, but she was not allowed to do it in real life.
So how did she feel when she was happy dancing and it wasn't welcomed?
Very sad, very lost. She didn't know what to do because it meant she had to suppress the things that made her happy.
Are you happy existing where you are?
I'm keeping this happy feeling sort of alive whenever she's connecting to me because I'm more the imaginary aspect of that.
And would you feel better if you were able to express yourself outwardly instead of having to stay within the daydreams?
I feel it would mean that I'm becoming one with Iris again. At the moment, I'm separate.
What would it mean to you to be a part of Iris again?
I don't have any urge or wish because it's so familiar to just exist the way I'm existing.
Are you aware of the giant within?
Yeah, he's always scaring everyone else away.
And why do you think he does that?
Um, he wants probably to just show how powerful he is.
How do you feel towards him?
I avoid him.
What do you need from him?
I probably would need to understand him because at the moment he's just existing, but I don't get what he's really there for and why he's yeah, because he seems to have a life of his own and not caring about anyone or anything else.
So we can ask him that. If you'd like, I could ask him that right now. Would you like that?
Yes.
Okay. So speaking again to the giant within, and Iris, as we move into the giant within, I want you to look at the dancer and tell me what you see.
It looks like she's everything I wanted to be, everything I was dreaming of, but was never allowed to be.
And how does she feel to you?
She's happy. She's very fulfilled.
And kind of hearing her story, what do you feel towards her?
There's a certain degree of gratitude because she could stay alive, even though the circumstances were quite opposing that.
And now I want you to look over at the giant within and tell me what you see.
I see someone or some part or something that's very disconnected and that's very um, self-centered.
And after hearing the giant within's story, Does it make sense to you why he behaves the way he does, or what do you feel towards him after hearing when he came in and why?
I get the impression it's like the internalized father figure. He's very much presenting what I had experienced as energy or as kind of behavior towards me.
I I thought the same, and he also crosses boundaries like your father did.
Yeah,
So he is behaving similarly.
yeah. And makes me feel like I almost don't exist. It's really like he does nullify my existence. It's almost as if he's taking all the space and he's becoming really huge. And I'm like, I'm this tiny sparkle.
How does it feel to you to be so small and insignificant to him?
It's almost as if there's no relation. It's like he exists, I exist, and it's just an unpleasant moment every time we are sort of getting aware of each other, or I get aware of this giant. And it's probably, I mean, when I think about this issue about talking, it's like in those moments when this insecurity comes in, I really feel like, oh my gosh, I'm too small, I'm irrelevant, I'm insignificant, I'm nothing.
Why do you keep this part with you?
It almost feels as if I don't have any power to choose.
Okay. And if you did have a power to choose, what would you do with that power?
I would probably explore this aspect of this internalized father figure.
Mhm.
And I get the impression that he would probably shrink and not be like this bloated, oversized part that's just taking all the attention and swallowing everything that feels good.
So I want you to look at the giant within, and I want you to ask the giant within, what are you doing here? Why are you hurting me? Why do you make me feel this way?
Okay, what are you doing here? Why are you hurting me? And he responds, it's just fun because I can.
I want you to ask him why he feels it's okay to make fun of you and to hurt you this way.
Okay, why is it okay for you to make fun of me and to hurt me? And that's just his way of feeling good about himself. He just enjoys making others being smaller.
And this is this intern, you said that this giant is your father?
It feels like this internalized father figure, yeah. The kind of figure that my father represents to me, the way he was behaving towards me.
I want you to ask him, Dad, when you had me, when you brought me into this world, was it your intention to hurt me?
When you brought me into this world, Dad, was it your intention to hurt me? He's really messed up. He's almost, I mean, you can't reach him with reason. He's like a crazy figure.
I want you to look into him and tell me what makes him the way he is.
He was brought up in this very harsh and cruel way, and there was a lot of hostility towards him. And it didn't make any sense why someone would want to crush him when he was small. And so he acted it out of satisfaction to just probably numb his own pain.
And how old was he when this pain was first inflicted on him?
I just get the impression he was quite small.
Mm-hmm.
Small boy, probably starting to talk or starting to walk.
So is it fair to say that he's treated you the same way he was treated when he was small?
I mean, he didn't act out the violence to that kind of degree, or he sort of held himself back quite strongly. But the emotional intention or the emotional approach and the demeanor was very similar.
I want you to see this small boy and let me know when you see him.
I see him.
And I want you to connect with the feelings that he's having in this moment.
He's devastated. He's completely crushed. He doesn't know what's happening. He's hated just for existing.
Mm-hmm. What did that little boy need in that moment?
He would have needed someone to hold his hands and to embrace him and to bring him out of that situation.
I want you to do that. I want you to grab his hands. And I want you to tell him, you're safe with me.
You're safe with me.
And I want you to take this little boy out of this situation and bring him someplace that he would love to go.
Yeah.
And in this space, I want you to tell him how loved he is.
You might not have experienced love from the closest surrounding you, but you have been loved. You are loved from the divine, from higher forces. You probably were loved by the soul of your father, and probably your grandmother.
And I want you to see if you can look around, are those souls there? The soul of his father and the soul of his grandma. Can you see them there?
Yeah.
And do they have love for him?
The grandma.
And I want you to see her love growing from her and reaching out to him.
Yeah, they have a special connection now.
And I want you to see that special connection glowing and becoming stronger and stronger and more radiant and more filled with love, unconditional love, and compassion and kindness.
Yeah, it really feels good with her.
And I want you to notice the special bond that is shared between a grandma and a grandson. All the little secrets and the cookies and the snacks and the the beautiful relationship that a grandparent offers.
He's good with that.
And now I want you to see him and his grandma walking down to a stream, and they're both going to step into the stream. And as they do, I want that little boy to tell his grandma everything that he needs to tell her. I want him to let her know all the things that have hurt him and that he feels.
Okay, he's telling her that he had to disconnect from everything he had to experienced. And it's like a robotic self, or like a very emotionally numb creature that's quite cold. And this was allowing him to function, but it was not controllable. So he was not in power, he was not in charge. It's like he was the ant in the giant himself.
And as he is telling his grandmother these things, what does she say to him?
She actually says to him, you don't have to learn everything in one lifetime. It's about patience. He can be patient with himself. But it's also good that he notices that it's not the real him. It's the fractured self that's being in charge.
And Iris, I want you to tell him that you are so sorry that he has been treated this way. It isn't good to hurt others, especially children who cannot stand up for themselves or defend themselves. They're completely powerless. So if you could let him know that it's terrible the way he's been treated.
I'm really sorry for how you've been treated. This shouldn't have happened to a tiny boy. You should have deserved to be loved and appreciated and cuddled and adored and being listened to. Nobody was listening to you either. So I get it. I understand why you ended up being in such a messed up way. And I really am sorry what you've experienced.
I don't know if it's appropriate, so let me know if this doesn't feel right to you. But do you feel that maybe you could express to him the hurt that he caused you as an adult?
The way you treated me was super scary. I was so afraid of you, and I was trying to shrink and become tiny inside because I thought I couldn't allow anything in. I couldn't endure the way you were overreaching and crossing the boundaries. It was so horrific to experience. You scared me so deeply. I was almost feeling like I'm not alive any longer. I had to become this tiny speck. And I didn't see you as someone I could trust. I didn't see you as someone I could feel safe with. So I was loving you as a daughter. I was really, also there was this part of me that was looking up to you and just adoring you like a daughter. But the way you were treating me was just extremely destructive. I felt completely destroyed by it, and I was blaming myself and not understanding how I would have ever deserved that, because I didn't do anything that was out of proportion or anything that was really nasty or would have deserved kind of harsh treatment like that, or confusing treatment like that. So I couldn't make any sense of this word. And I didn't know what to say, and I didn't know how to express myself any longer, because every word I was saying was like a trigger or a potential trigger. And so it felt like every word could cause an eruption, emotional eruption of you. So I was super scared, and I decided to best not talk, because I wouldn't want to have all this frustration and anger pouring down at me.
I want you to ask him why he brought you into this world only to make you feel insignificant.
Why did you bring me into this world only to make me feel insignificant? It's like the fractured self, this massive giant self is responding with ignorance. It's like he's not even listening.
Mm. Is there anything that that little boy wants to say to you?
He says, "Have patience with me. I'm not ready yet."
And Iris, are you willing to have patience with that little boy?
I am willing to have patience with that little boy, but I need to get rid of that giant.
I agree with that. I want you to see that little boy pouring water over his head and washing away all those old things that have burdened him for so long. And if you, even if you'd like to help, kind of rinse his hair and clean him up.
It's like his grandma is doing that, and it looks really like he's being um, washed, and things are being cleared out. Looks very sacred.
And is there anything else that either of you need to say to each other?
I wish you can find your way to be playful again. That's what I would like to say to him.
And how does he respond to that?
Yeah. He's also interested in moving towards that.
Well, if he is safe and happy here, we can we can leave him. Otherwise, if you'd like to go somewhere else, you can take him there.
No, it's good.
All right. So I want you to go back into the room, that unsymmetric room with the giant within and with the dancer. And as you're looking at the giant within, how does he look now?
Just the same.
Okay. So I want you to settle in to your seat. And I want you to look into him and see why he behaves the way he does.
He's all the injustice incorporated, all the insecurities, all the hurt, pain, the punishment, and especially insanity. So I'd love to invite some angelic beings and maybe pouring some unconditional love
Absolutely. We invite any angels, any angels that are around that would love to help heal this. And I want you to see them coming in to this room. Feel their presence.
Beautiful. It's like he's slowly dissolving.
Mm-hmm.
And I see my vocal cords being released.
Nice. And how does it feel to see your vocal cords being released?
It's like finally a part is coming back to me that belongs to me. And that's so missed. That was missed for such a long time.
And how are you feeling watching the giant within dissolving into this white light, angelic light?
Feels good. It really feels like it was time for him to leave. It was an old energy. It was a very fragmented, distorted state that wasn't actually having anything to do with the present moment any longer, or the presence was just this remnant that was reminding me of a very traumatic incident from the past.
Right. And are you able to see what the giant within will be doing in his future?
It's like these parts are gonna be brought back to harmony, being dissolved. And it looks like it's also allowing the small boy to start a new chapter, because he was also held back by.
So, how does it feel to you to see the giant within harmonizing and bringing closure to the young boy?
I feel like I'm growing. I'm taking more space. I might feel ridiculous while talking, but that's okay. But I feel it's not impossible for me to reach through any longer. It's like this glass dome is dissolving with it.
Mhm. I want you to imagine for a moment that you've met somebody on the street, and I want you to see yourself speaking to them. I want you to see yourself smiling at them, locking eyes with them, and greeting them, and feeling good about the conversation that you're about to have.
It's interesting. In the very first moment, the giant was stepping in again, even though he dissolved, but there was just like, oh, he came up again. And I saw him in the back, and instantly in that moment, like my vocal cords were getting tight.
Mm-hmm.
And then I reminded myself it's just a remnant. It's just
I want you to grab a hold of that remnant and bring it forward and look at it. And what does this remnant need from you?
also patience and compassion. It's like this tiny girl that's feeling so insecure.
That tiny girl that is so insecure, I want you to help her to feel more secure. I want you to tell her, you know what, This is gonna be fun for us. We may feel a little nervous at first, but you are gonna be so amazing at having wonderful conversations with people.
Okay. So this is going to be fun for us, and you're going to be so amazing at having wonderful conversations with people. You're going to be brilliant at communicating. It's okay. I trust you. You can trust yourself, and I believe in you. You have it within. You have this ability.
And I want you to let her know that even if she makes a mistake every now and then, she will be able to quickly recover and get right back into the flow of conversation easily. And it's she's gonna love having connection and real conversation with so many people.
And even if you're going to make mistakes, it's okay. You know, it's just words, and people know that you're going to stumble upon words. People know that sometimes you can stutter or repeat a word or whatever. It's going to be okay. That's not the end of the conversation. That's not the end of the exchange. People are going to be understanding and are going to be patient with you as well. They're going to believe that you have something to share that might be fun to know or interesting.
And how does that part of you feel?
She's more open to that.
Okay. So now again, I want you to imagine you walking down the street and you lock onto to someone and you're looking them in the eyes and you're smiling and you are greeting them.
Yeah, completely different right now. I feel like I'm not this tiny ant-like being that's gonna be crushed in a moment. I can look them eye to eye. It's like a meeting one who is equal.
Mm-hmm. And I want you to see yourself asking them a question, inquiring about what they do or what they like, noticing something on them that you point out, like a pin or an interesting saying on their shirt.
Yeah, usually when I do that, I mean, I'm sometimes complimenting people, but usually when I do that, I run away quickly.
So how does it feel to say something about someone and to stay?
Yeah, it doesn't feel threatening.
Right. And how do they respond to you?
It feels like they are touched by my words. They are okay with it, and there's a certain sense of gratitude.
Mhm. And now that you aren't running away after you compliment somebody, maybe you can hear them telling you about this item, where they got it from, what it means to them, why they picked it out.
Yeah, that's an interesting question to ask. I see how that's gonna be like a, gonna be a bit deeper conversation or longer conversation.
Yeah. And how does it feel to be in a longer conversation?
Usually it feels very scary, but right now in this state, it feels okay. I can
Mhm.
trust it's not gonna be a life-threatening experience any longer. It feels like okay, it's gonna be just an exchange. No, how do you say? No, um, I'm not needed to have any connection or whatever. There's no binding energies. It's just
Right.
very open experience without any expectations.
And now I want you to imagine that you are talking with a different person see them, eyes with them, you smile at them, and you say hello, and they don't say anything back. How do you feel in that moment?
Um, Probably a tiny bit rejected or puzzled.
I want you to pull forth that rejection and the feeling of puzzlement, if that's a word. And I want you to look at it and tell me what you're seeing.
There's this tiny girl crying. I see her crying because she has
What,
tried so many times and to reach someone and they just ignored her.
and what does she need?
She needs love,
I want
compassion.
you to take her by the hand and pick her up and just love on her. Because when someone doesn't respond to you, that has nothing to do with her. It's nothing to do with you at all. It's maybe they were in a rush, maybe they didn't hear you, maybe they're deaf. There could be so many reasons why a person doesn't respond that doesn't have anything to do with you. And I want you to let her know that there's nothing wrong with her at all.
There's nothing wrong with you. You're actually an adorable tiny girl. And I'm sorry that no one was interested in you or was listening or was considering you to be of any significance at all. That's not the truth. They were just blind. They were covered underneath their own burdens and they couldn't see you. But this doesn't mean that you are not relevant. And this doesn't mean that anything that you are or that makes you is not relevant, because you are. Who you are is very, very interesting and also normal being. You are not someone who's disgusting or anyhow needs to be rejected. You're just a normal being. You deserve attention. You deserve that someone is listening to you as you enjoy listening to others. It's like, and you can allow yourself to experience and exchange. You can allow yourself to validate your own voice, your own words. They are important, they have meaning, and they are significant. And your inner thought processes and your inner awareness and consciousness, it's a very precious thing to have, to be. And I'm sorry for all the rejection you experienced and all the harsh treatment and all the ignoring and all the judgment, all the abuse, everything that made you feel that you are like nothing. I want you to leave it all with them. I want you to leave it with those to whom it belongs, because it doesn't belong to you. It was their projection, it was their limitation, it was their blindness. No matter how you look like, no matter how you appear in your human form, it's you are a valuable human being. And there's so much magic inside you, so much fascinating stuff that just wants to pour out and that wants to be expressed. And if someone is not interested in you, that's okay. So not everyone is your type of cup. That's okay.
I want you to tell her how interested in her you are.
I'm very interested in you. I know that you have so many stories to tell. You have such a depth to your character and your being, and there's so much to find out and to learn and to explore. So many colors, such an amazing variety, and so filled with fantasy and vibrancy, and it's just there's so much creativity inside you. I'm really curious what you're gonna bring to life.
And how does she look and feel after this?
She knows she's not gonna be loved by everyone. That's just a matter of fact, but she feels validated by me.
Mm-hmm. So now I want you to see that scenario again. You see somebody walking down the street, you lock eyes with them, you smile, you say hello, and they say nothing. What do you feel?
I still feel I would probably need to give myself compassion,
Mm-hmm.
but I also feel that I can disconnect from that reaction and not take it on and see it as something personal.
Right. I want you to just hug that little girl until she merges right back in you.
Yeah, I'm gonna promise her to take care of her
Yes.
and to listen to her voice. And even when she's singing and when she's not able to sing correctly, listen to her.
That's good. So now I want you to see yourself walking down the street. You see another person, you lock eyes with them, you smile at them, you greet them, and you say something silly like the wrong words. What do you feel?
I'm laughing at myself. It feels okay. I mean, I'm okay with making mistakes.
Mm-hmm. Good. All right. So I want you to see yourself back in that room that you've created for you and your parts. And is the giant within still there?
It's like a shimmery version of it, but more like, a see-through ethereal version. And that's okay. It feels okay.
Okay. And do you feel that there's anything that you would like to say to him in this shimmery version?
Yes, I'd like to say something. I'd like to say thank you so much for being the reminder of keeping me safe, because that's probably what the main role was. He was keeping me safe, because if I would have been the dancer or would have acted out, I would probably have experienced way more traumatic incidents. So that was actually a good thing that he did.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not that tiny girl any longer. I'm really now a grown-up woman, and whenever someone would treat me in a similar way like I experienced from my father, I know now what to do, and I am having enough experience to know how to handle that situation. And even if it is going away, I mean, I can go away, I don't have to stay. Or if it is like counter responding and making this person aware of my own boundaries, I have the strength inside me now. So I really am glad that you made sure that I'm gonna survive the situation. Now I'm not in a survival mode any longer. I'm now at a good place where I can act many different ways.
And how does he look now?
Oh, yeah, he's smiling. It's interesting. I'm reaching him.
And knowing that you are an adult now and that you are capable of handling anything that comes your way, does he feel the need to continue to behave the way he does?
He knows he's not needed any longer.
Is there some place that he would rather be? Is there a job that he would rather do?
It would probably still be the alarm bell when there would be danger approaching. So
Mhm.
just for this potentiality, for this cause. And that's good to have someone to bring awareness that sometimes situations could get out of control. But he's also probably helping me to become stronger.
Moving forward, how will he help you?
Reminding me that it's okay to make mistakes, that it's okay to stumble upon my own words and say silly things sometimes, and knowing that it's not the end of the world.
And I want you to look at him because I know several times throughout looking at the giant within, we've noticed that he's very disconnected. I want you to see if there's a cord or something that is disconnected from you.
I mean, there's some binding energies, some unpleasant cords, and they go back to ancestral lines. That's what I'm noticing right now.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel comfortable cutting those?
Yes, more
So I
than.
want you to imagine these cords filling with unconditional divine light. And it fills those cords from his side all the way to the other end. And when it reaches the other end, it fills that being with this beautiful light. And then I want you to see that cord being cut from his side. What are you noticing now?
He's very strong, so he's quite busy cutting all the cords he gets a hold of. So he's not only cutting the cords from my end, but also like ancestral cords. And it looks like there's so many. My God. He's really busy.
Just let me know when he's finished.
Yeah. He's still busy, but I see now a huge pile of those cords.
Yeah.
And they're going to be set on fire.
Good. I was just going to suggest something, but you got this.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, like, the dancer is now here, and also my ancestors are dancing, and I also feel very uplifted.
Good. Very good. So you guys are like dancing around the bonfire?
Yeah.
Mhm. So when all these chords have turned to ash, I want you to see this big gust of wind come through and blow it all away, leaving nothing but this beautiful feeling of freedom and whatever else you're feeling.
Yes, feels amazingly clear on my side and like the ancestral line. I actually like to cut those that are binding my children as well.
Absolutely. Just let me know when you're finished.
Yeah, it's okay.
Perfect. So now I want you to see the giant within once again. And how does he look?
He's also dancing, which is a bit scary because he's so huge and the floor is moving.
Oh, I want you to invite him to be a part of your life in a different way, in a better way, in a more positive and an uplifting way.
I actually like him to be a protective part. That's good. That feels
Yes.
good.
And he is a good protector. But instead of scaring you, he needs to find a different way to help protect you. And as you guys are kind of collaborating on different ways he can do this job, what do you come up with? How would you like him to protect you?
To make me feel more self-assured. Because when I'm more connected to my own self, I'm also more allowing more connected to my intuition and allowing my intuition to speak for me, which is helping me to find out when I'm safe and when I'm not.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like a healthy father figure, you
Yes.
know, maybe when you have a question, he's there to guide you along and to help you feel protected, but not, you know, I don't know the word. Protected, but not forced to do something. You know, it's a more of a healthy masculine figure.
That's a beautiful idea. I really like that. I mean, I already get this sensation of, yeah, he's like creating the safe space for me. And I can do my funny and stupid things and just be myself and make mistakes, be vulnerable, and learn to grow within that space.
Yeah. I know when you had said that the inner giant was, or the giant within was dancing with the dancer, it reminded me of, you know, like dancing in the living room with your father, goofing around and being a healthy uh, figure in your life, a healthy protector that encourages you to follow your dreams and to be who you're meant to be.
That's beautiful. I mean, I couldn't visualize my father directly as that because he has his stories and he's not. I can't reach through, which is okay. But I mean, just the feeling of there's a potential or there's a possible father figure that has a healthy masculine energy feels good.
Yes. And that, I guess that's what I meant. Maybe not your father in particular, but if you could have the father of your dreams, if you could create the father that you've always needed and wanted, what aspects would he have?
Yeah. Yeah, he would be highly understanding and very understanding, very also very joyful and playful and respecting my boundaries and also being sensitive towards my boundaries and seeing me as a child.
So is the giant within, is he okay with these terms? Is this the position he'd like?
Yeah, it also feels much more fun to him because beforehand it was more or less raining, but there was no fun. It was like a dominating position that was also not really heart based. And now he looks happy.
And I want you to see him kind of merging into you in this new role in your life.
Yeah, I feel like I'm integrating these kind of energies.
Mm-hmm. And when he's completely integrated, just let me know.
I feel I'm not sort of like integrating this father figure. Sort of, I feel it's good to have this as an external, but I'm integrating these characteristics and these aspects of how a father figure is good and appropriate.
Yeah. How does it feel as these aspects are being integrated?
Feels empowering. It feels, first and foremost, it feels like a clarity, like the clarity of what I would consider as normal, what I would consider as good and nourishing and supportive. And this means I can align myself to those standards and um, to know what feels right.
And are all those aspects integrated?
Yes.
Now I want you to be back in that room, and I want you to see that dancer. And how does she feel now that she sees the giant within in his new position?
She's also glad about him, but she's not so much interested in him, but more
Mm-hmm.
in me. And she's inviting me to dance with her.
And will you?
I feel I can give it a try.
Let me know when you are done dancing.
Yeah.
Okay. And now I want you to invite her to be a more prominent role in your life.
Yeah. I'm inviting her to teach me. Teach me how to dance, to sing, how to vocalize, how to express myself, and how to trust more in my own inner world and allowing it to be expressed.
Is there anything that she wants or needs from you?
She says some more dancing shoes.
And when you guys are ready, I want you to see her merging into you and reintegrating back into your world.
Yeah, I'm happily taking that part back.
Mhm. And you can just let me know when all that's finished.
Yeah, it feels like she's very rhythmic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels good.
Okay.
She's at home here now.
So I just kind of want to quickly go through some of the things you that you learned in the parts discussion. Um, in the beginning, you felt that coldness and the pressure in your chest. It was like a void and ice, and it was bluish in color. And you felt scared because it felt like things were going to take over. Um, you were afraid that you might lose yourself. It was turquoise. Oh, in your room, it was turquoise and fancy, stylish lamps, and the other part of the room was very big and huge to kind of house the giant within. So I want you to kind of check through your body once again, especially in the areas of your chest, and I want you to see how things feel and look.
So it's more colorful. I noticed
Okay.
yellow and orange and flowery texture in my lungs.
Mhm.
The pressure from my chest is gone. It's like there is this feeling like, when you lift off some weight and from your own body, you still feel this pressure, but it's not there anymore. So it's,
Yeah.
um, yeah, like this after effect that's still, mm, the tiredness that's still a bit there, but I know it's not, doesn't need any more attention. It will go away in itself. Um, Within the heart, it feels like it got some stitches and it's the wound has been taken care of. It might still need some time for the healing, which is good.
And I want you to continue scanning down and see how everything looks and feels, if there's anything else that needs to be addressed.
My vocal cords, I feel they are almost back integrated.
Mhm. And is there anything that they need for you to do in this moment to help them integrate fully?
Maybe some words. Welcome back. It's good to have
Yeah.
you. You were missed. I really appreciate you. I know you can do amazing things where you're powerful, you have a strong voice, you can express yourself. It's good. And let go of the tension, can let go of the past. It's done with. You can allow joyful notes and joyful expressions. Nice words, playful conversations. It's good. It's going to be good.
Mhm. And how are they now?
They're okay. It's good.
And continuing to scan, is there anything else that needs your attention?
Um, And just interestingly, just a few sentences that I would like to say towards my father. Having integrated these parts back and having regained the strength, I just want to let him know, you can't treat me like that any longer. I'm done with that. Whatever you're saying or doing, I'm not willing to cope with it any longer. I'm drawing my boundary. I'm now an adult and I'm not playing around, and you can't control me or overpower me. I have my own power and I won't shy away or run away or be small again. I'm not doing that game any longer. You have to carry your own stuff and you have to deal with it. I'm out of that. I'm not willing to fall into that pattern any longer. It's a pity that it took me so long to dissolve it, and now it's really, I'm not willing to carry it further or to repeat any parts of it. So I want you to completely own it, take back what belongs to you, and I'm handing it back. I'm done with it. I'm so done with it. You can't make me feel bad any longer. You can't make me feel ashamed of my voice any longer or hold back. I'm allowed to speak my truth.
Good for you, Iris. And I want you to see him taking back all of his crap, boxes and boxes and boxes of it. And if you can, just shut the door.
It's like there was some bondage around my neck and some like chains inside my vocal cords, and I'm trying them back and pulling them out. Super releasing. So glad.
Are they all out?
Yes, they are.
How does it feel to have all those chains out and gone?
Lighter. It's way lighter, way more expansive.
And now I want you to recall when we first spoke with the giant within, and he felt that you were irrelevant and he was only here for himself. He had also, you had felt like you were an ant being crushed, that you were completely irrelevant, that you didn't have a voice, you were really small. And he was just a reminder of that moment when a boundary had been crossed. And it was a reminder at how easily someone can crush your voice and your state of being. And I want you to say, that's not me.
That's not me anymore. That's completely gone. That's not me because I'm now grown up. That's not me anymore because I'm not willing to carry old stories around any longer or past remnants. I'm not willing to carry other people's stuff any longer. That doesn't even belong to me. I mean, that's just generational bullshit. It's just completely outdated and only hindering and only creating blockages and unpleasant emotions. So that's not me anymore. I don't see any benefit in keeping this stuff any longer. I'm now allowing myself to be freed from that, to be released from that, and allowing myself to be who I am.
And who you are is relevant.
And who I am is relevant, and what I have to say is relevant, and what I am experiencing is relevant, and all parts of me have relevance. And I wouldn't diminish anyone else's. So I acknowledge my own like I would acknowledge others, because I deserve the same. I'm valuable, just like everyone else. But I'm not willing to bow down to suppression, oppression, and diminishing treatment any longer. I'm not willing to be the punching ball for anyone else any longer. Giving that all back. Someone else's emotions and triggers are theirs, not mine. I deserve to be free from that.
I want you to recall that glass dome, that wall that was built inside, and I want you to see that wall being smashed, crushed, gone, however you need to remove that wall.
It's gone.
Perfect. All the remnants of it gone. Everything, every last piece of it. You don't need it, you don't want it. Your voice will be heard. I also recall your mother and your grandmother felt that your voice was unpleasant and disturbing. And when you had needs, they felt that that was kind of an inconvenience and you shouldn't have needs. And I want you to say, that's not me.
That's not me anymore, because they're messed up beliefs, have nothing to do with my reality and have nothing to do with me. It's just they wanted to have an easy job then, but they were also wanting to have control over someone else's life, and that's not how you raise a child. The way to raise a child is to nourish them and you support them, and not taking their voice away. I'm reclaiming everything that belongs to me. I'm reclaiming my voice. I'm reclaiming my place in life. I'm reclaiming my personality. I'm reclaiming my joy. I'm reclaiming my right to dance, to sing, and to have fun, and also to do stupid things if I want to, and to not be perfect, to not have to know things or have to be able to already be good at things. I can allow myself to learn step by step, and that's not me anymore, because someone else's pain doesn't define me.
I want you to see your mother and your grandmother standing there in front of you. And I want you to tell them I deserved a loving caretaker who cared about my well being and who loved my voice and who met my needs. I didn't deserve what you gave me.
I deserve a loving caretaker. I deserve someone who listens to my voice and who meets my needs. And I didn't deserve a caretaker who was just very self-centered and didn't care about me at all. So I deserve better. I deserve someone who's gentle and kind and understanding and is willing to listen and is willing to allow me the space and the time to grow, allow me to make my experiences, and also to protect me so I don't have to endure someone overpowering me or pressing my boundaries. So I don't have to endure all this fear and being scared. So I deserve someone who's also taking my feelings into consideration and not playing with them and not ignoring them or wanting to smash them and numb them down. So that's not me anymore. I'm not taking that on any longer. I'm sending it back to where it belongs, and just giving everything back to you. Your beliefs are yours. You can judge me in the way you like to judge me. I know now this has nothing to do with me. I completely disconnect from that part.
Good. And I want you to see yourself giving back everything that doesn't belong to you. Give it all back to them.
Yeah,
So no space in your life for it.
Yeah.
You don't want it. You don't need it. It's not yours.
Sorry. Just feel like I have to put off all the chains that they put around my neck and trying to control me and trying to make me abstain from movement. I was so restricted and felt like I had to be this almost in a life puppet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really release all of the chains, all of the binding energies connected to their values and their ways of viewing the world. Trusting in my own self, trusting I have it all within. I know my values. I know what's important. I know how to be a respectful person and kind person. Don't need to have the judgment pressing me down any longer. Give it all back. I deserve a voice. I deserve to sing. I deserve to dance. I deserve to have joy. I deserve to have my own mind. I deserve to have my own thoughts. I deserve to have my own feelings, and I have a right to acknowledge them and to see them for what they are and to feel compassion towards them. So release everything that's binding me, everything, taking back my voice.
I want you to picture what it is like to no longer have to suppress the things that make you happy.
It's very colorful, very joyful, adventurous.
Mm. And if you haven't done so already, shut the door to your mother and your grandmother. And cut any cords that have been left.
Now I'm cutting all the cords that are binding me in any negative way. So releasing all those cords.
Do we need a second bonfire?
Yeah, that's going to be a second bonfire.
Light it up, girl.
It is. It's good to release all the ways how I was limited.
Yeah. And when every last bit of that is burned to ash, I want you to see that big old wind come through and just blow it all away. You don't want it. You don't need it. It's gone. And I want you to scan your entire body once again and see if there's any loose ends we need to tie up.
No, so good.
I want you to reintegrate all your parts into one harmonious whole.
Yeah, calling back all my parts, all my soul parts and pieces and everything that belongs to me, welcoming it home, embracing it back.
So now I want you to imagine yourself once again seeing people, locking eyes with them, smiling at them. And when you speak to someone, you do it easily and naturally with incredible confidence. Your voice is clear and confident, and people understand what you are saying. Your words are always completely and perfectly understood because of them easily. People listen to you. They enjoy hearing you. People feel at ease and comfortable with you, and you receive a great deal of warmth and acceptance whenever you speak. You communicate easily and effectively with good energy. Your impressive mind responds immediately, and it supplies you with thoughtful solutions and answers to any situation or question someone may have. And when you speak to other people, your voice is clear and strong. Your body language is perfect, giving off the message that you are confident, approachable, and receptive. Your energy is able to easily match the person that you are speaking to. Your conversations feel natural and easy. And for you, it is natural and easy. You make eye contact and you hold it. Your smile is warm and inviting. You don't run away. You stay with it. Your voice is at the perfect pitch and tone, and you remember everything you need to say, and you say it perfectly. Sometimes serious, sometimes witty, but always spot on. You have an impressive talent for improvising, and you always and easily think of the right thing to say in any situation. You have a natural talent for expressing your thoughts and ideas in an enthusiastic way that leaves a lasting impression with the people that you speak to. People listen to you because everything you say makes sense. It's helpful and comforting and always spot on. You enjoy learning more about communication, and look towards and surround yourself with others who are masters of the skill. Learning and applying these new incredible skills causes your self-confidence to soar in conversations. So knowing it, feeling it, believing it, I want you to begin to come back to the room feeling refreshed and filled with knowledge and insight. 4, becoming more aware of your surroundings. The smells and sounds are welcoming you back. 3, feeling excited and more connected than ever before. 2, you can stretch your arms, your legs, your fingers and toes. And 1, you can open your eyes, take in the room around you, take a nice deep breath, then wide awake now. Well, welcome back.
Wow, beautiful session. That was a journey.
It was.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I already had this impression that this part for sure has something to do with my father. So, makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's also good just to feel how it's gonna be, how it's released, and how it's now put back to where it belongs. Yeah.
Absolutely. And you can create the life that you want, not the life that you were told to have.
Yeah. And it's so interesting. I mean, we are so deeply bound by these kind of experiences and trying to live eagerly trying to please others, and they don't even notice, it's like it's an automated programming that's running inside, and you're behaving in a certain way, and no one knows, and no one ever thinks about it. It's like it's
Right.
just your own inner self that's constantly having these thoughts and trying to function in that certain sense way.
I really liked this session because it kind of gives our viewers an example of all the different things that can come up in a session. Like there was a lot of ancestral stuff that came in. You requested angelic help, so that's able to happen in your session. It's just I like that there was so many different things that came in to show people that anything that you need in this space is possible. We can heal these things in a session. So I love that all these different aspects came up.
Yeah, me too. It was interesting. I mean, really, like you said, all different parts came up, and you were responding with such an amazing intuition. I enjoyed that.
It is it's really neat to see too. You can't really know exactly where you're going to go in a session. You can't really plan for um some of the stuff that comes up. It's never the same. It's different for every person. And it's so interesting to be a part of people's journey. And I love that.
Yeah, yeah. And then for me, like experiencing the session, it's so relieving. I mean, I right now sense there's so much weight lifted off, and even like my vocal cords, it feels so relaxed here, even on a physical level. There's this shift that I'm
Yeah.
noticing.
Thank you so much for volunteering to do this. It's so good to let people know what to expect, what things that can come up. Maybe some people feel silly talking with other parts, but being able to see someone else's session and how it went and what kind of things we encountered might relieve some of the anxiety that people have before a session, especially if it's their first one.
Yeah, yeah. I also feel it's something where you really don't have to be afraid of. It's just a natural process, allowing to listen to what's going on inside. And you did a fabulous job. Thanks, Danielle, for
Thank you.
that. So yeah, I feel it's gonna settle in, and there's a lot of stuff that needs to be processed.
Absolutely. Well, thank you all for tuning in to our session. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out and ask. Um, I guess that's all for now. I'll see you later.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.